Hey, it's Tom Sinclair, and I'm coming to you live from NAB. Can you believe it? Here we are at NAB in Las Vegas. We've got a bunch of our regular Streaming Idiots folks around today. We are so excited and delighted to be bringing you this show, coming to you live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live, of course, at EasternShoreBroadcasting.com. Now, before we go anywhere, if you're watching us on Facebook or if you're watching us on YouTube, by all means, come on over to EasternShoreBroadcasting.com so that you can get in on the chat. We've got about 4 or 5 dozen folks in the chat. They're chatting up a storm and enjoying each other's company as part of the community, and we would like you to be able to join in on that. We've got a really great show today. I've got 3 or 4 guests, and I can't wait to bring them on. I've got, I know I've got Paul Richards with PTZ Optics coming to you live from the PTZ Optics booth, which is on the other side here of the Southern Hall. He's going to come in on a vMix call. Remember, vMix call is the new feature in vMix 19 that allows you to bring a remote guest into your vMix production as if they were a camera on your network. That's right, you can bring in full 1080p, 30 frames a second, 4 megabytes, assuming your guest has got that kind of connection, and it becomes a camera on your setup with an automatic mix minus. I mean, it's a full duplex, so you guys can, if you're having an argument with your guest, you guys are going to talk all over each other. It's going to be great. So if you haven't already, by all means, just walk right through our production. That's right. By all means, go to vmix.com and download the free 60-day trial of vMix so that you can see what we're talking about. You can see what we're using. This is, let them walk through. It's more fun that way. It's just like when the Jack Russell Terrier walks through my production at home. So that's okay. So we're going to have Paul on. We've got RJ Murdoch. You remember RJ was on the show about a month ago talking about his video wall backdrop, and he also was talking about wireless streaming for his basketball. RJ is here somewhere in the Southern Hall. He's got his cell phone with him, and so he's trying to hook up on the cell phone to us using vMix call, but the cell phone service in here is kind of spotty, so he's kind of in and out. And yeah, Tim says we may not be able to get him. We also are going to have Philomena Liggins come in. We had a great party last night. Oh, I wish you were here. Maybe you saw some of it live on Facebook Live last night, but we had a great party at Scott Whitney's studio, Podworks, here in Las Vegas. It's PODWOX. You want to look that up, Podworks. Scott Whitney hosted us all, about 2 or 3 dozen of us at his studio last night. We had a drawing, we gave away all sorts of fun stuff, but we also gave away an appearance on this show. So we drew names out of a hat, and Philomena Liggins won the drawing, so she gets to be live on the show today. Let's see if I can get this mic on. There we go. Philomena, welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you here.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. Now, Philomena and Tim come from England.
We do.
What part of England?
Northampton, which is between London and Birmingham.
Between London and Birmingham. That's great. And I met Tim in person last year at NAB. Did we meet?
We didn't meet, no, but we certainly met now, and it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Tell me about NAB. Tell me about your experience at NAB. What's it like to come in? You've been coming here for a long time.
Yes, more years than I care to remember, but it's changed so much, and I think now, especially on this stand, you've got broadcast in the broadest possible terms.
Don't we?
And, you know, people can broadcast to each other through the internet, and they've got brilliant people like you that can introduce them to other people, so it's just superb, and it's brought it down to that more handleable level.
Yes, it really has. Anybody with a passion can be a broadcaster. See those red lights up there that just went to green?
Yes.
That's the camera that we're on, and when that red light goes off, we're on this little camera down here. So Tim is kind of going back and forth. He's trying to trick us into looking at the wrong camera, but
you see, this is brilliant. It's like having a suitcase that you can walk around. You can do outside broadcast. You can do it in a studio with your green screen. It's just a new platform, isn't it?
She gets it, folks. She understands what we're doing. Who says that our generation doesn't get it? Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Thank you so much for
It's
coming
been a
on.
pleasure, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Outstanding. That's what you get when you come to a Streaming Idiots party, is you get the opportunity to all of a sudden have to go full front stage. And bless her heart, Philomena, thank you so much for coming on the show today. So, we did a poll on Facebook yesterday of what would you like to see on the show today? And we had lots of different choices, and unfortunately, I screwed up and I put a choice on there saying, what would you like to see in vMix 20? And that one blew up. Everybody wants to know what's in vMix 20. So I thought I would tell you what's in vMix 20. I can tell you everything I know about vMix 20. It won't take long. Are you ready? No, your camera's not frozen. That's what I know about vMix 20. I don't know anything about it, but I'm gonna bring in somebody who's probably not gonna tell you any more than I did. And there's this guy that I met for the first time in person last year at vMix. Unassuming, very modest. It's the old one of those sayings that still waters run deep. Well, this guy is deep. This guy is deep. He's brilliant, very talented, very personable. It's the creator of vMix. Martin Sinclair, would you join us on the stage, please? Big hand for Martin Sinclair. The crowd goes wild. There we go. I don't think I've got you on.
All right.
So welcome. And thank
Tom.
you for inviting me to come do my show here for a second year.
Yeah, we've finally done it. It's been a busy couple of days, to say the very least. I've been running around all over the place, and we have so many live shows going on in this venue.
Yes.
That are powered by vMix. So we have the Teradek live show, of course.
Yes.
And we're running an NDI link this year from here to there. They're in a completely different hall. They're in Central Hall. We're in the South Lower Hall. And so we've set that up, and that seems to be going great. And then, of course, PTZ Optics are running their own show on their booth down here in the South Lower Hall, and we'll have them on your show in a couple of minutes, I assume.
Yep.
So yeah, I've just been running around, seeing all these live
I talked
streams.
to the guys at PI Engineering, you know, the folks that make the X keys, and they've got a little teeny set. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
A little Lego set?
Yeah.
And they are doing a live stream on that set this afternoon at 1 o'clock Pacific at the Facebook page for PI Engineering, and Maggie and Melinda are going to be doing the show. Did I get that right? Is Maggie and Melinda are going to be doing their show? Tim says that's right, so okay. So after this show at 1 o'clock Pacific, you want to tune your Facebook page to PI Engineering and go ahead and like them while you're there, because Maggie, now we need to get more women in live streaming. And so I think after you see Maggie and Melinda, you're going to know why you want to get more women in live streaming. So Martin, tell us a little bit about the setup we've got today. How in the world did we configure all this stuff in like 20 minutes?
Last year, many people will know we had a whole live stage set up. This year we went a bit different. We wanted to provide as many systems as possible for people to try out vMix. We have 6 demo systems happening. We've got ones for instant replay, ones for NDI, ones for vMix call, for laptop productions, 4K. We've just got everything. And what's happened is we've allocated the IP production system. It's right in front of us here. So Tim is at the controls there, and he's showing an NDI feed now that we're bringing in over NDI. We can just see around the booth. We can see all these people watching in our live show. You can see Tim there in the bottom left-hand corner. You can wave to the camera. Tom's gone out and waved to that. So they're all connected together via NDI. We only have 2 capture cards in use in this booth this year. Everything else is being shared via NDI. So it's pretty amazing. And so the show today has just been running on the IP production booth. We have 2 cameras plugged into it. We're on this camera up here. So this is the Blackmagic camera. This down here is a RovoCam that HAA has loaned us for the week. So we just have them both. One of them is coming in via NDI, in fact. So this camera up here is connected via NDI. This one here is connected via the AJA UTAP via USB. So you can see we're a zero capture card production today. One's coming via NDI, one's coming via USB into this IP production system that Tim's running the controls from. We're using the same sort of setup we have back in our Funtime Live show. We've got the Behringer UMC 404 audio interface. We have these two mics plugged in. We just bought these wireless mics from Sennheiser and Sony actually. These are Sony wireless mics. And they seem to be working all right. I hope everybody can actually hear us today on the live show.
They do work great. I was just teasing.
So we just at the last minute got a flash drive from Tom with all of his materials. So, you know, we have the graphics, the intro video, and all of that running into the production. And I think that's pretty much it. Of course, we're using vMix Call today, so you should run right into who your next guest is, I guess. If you've got any more questions.
And Martin has set up a confidence monitor here for us on Tim's laptop. That is doing what? This is a vMix Call or this is an NDI?
So this is an NDI link here. We've just connected this via Wi-Fi and we're just running vMix and we're running the output of the production in vMix and we're also running in a couple of audio mixes. So with NDI and vMix you can share different audio mixes. We're using the A bus in here so that Tim can control exactly what you're hearing in your earphone. So I have no idea what's going on, so I'll run away when you talk to your next guest because I won't be able to hear a thing they're saying. But yeah, that's our setup. You know, if anybody has any questions, they can talk about in the chat room, and I'll do my best to answer that post show. But I think you've got a lot of content to get to.
Jan is saying in the chat room that he bought his first vMix license about a year ago when it was vMix 16. We're at vMix 19 now, which is just after a year. That's just light years from where we were back at vMix 16. And I think I got on the vMix train about vMix 12.
Yeah, it started with vMix version 6, funnily enough, because I built it for my church and I was just building all these different versions, and it was only up to version 6 I was confident enough to unleash it to the masses. So that was in 2009, and so from 6 to 19.
Did you have any clue what was going to happen?
No, I just, you know, I was only running for my church. I was perfectly content with running vMix just in my church, but everybody kept saying, hey, we'd really like to try this software out, and that's, you know, how it happened.
And so Martin took this little pebble called vMix and he dropped it into the pond, and it created this tidal wave effect that is sweeping the broadcast industry. You wouldn't believe the people that we're talking to in the vMix booth this year about vMix. Folks that are doing production, people that they want to steal all Martin's ideas. I mean, people come around and take pictures of the screen so they can go back and mimic vMix.
Tim's just put up a picture-in-picture of the booth so we can see down the hall there.
Yeah. Right over there. Right.
Is it looking down that way, I believe? Yeah.
And you can tell this is live because people walk right through the middle of the set.
And there's the booth there, Tim in the corner. So we've got a bird's eye view of what's happening. Yeah.
All right, so Martin, vMix 19, vMix Call was the big thing. And then you had some tweaks. I think you fixed, well, Twitter and Periscope opened up their API.
Just in the last couple of weeks, we've added Periscope Twitter support and also support for YouTube Stream Now, so you can just log in directly into your YouTube channel, which is what you're using today for the show. We made it easy to stream to YouTube.
First time. And Tim did it all. I got to keep Tim. Do you mind if I keep him?
Yeah, we can have a
actually, Tim's kind of ticked off at me right now, so maybe he'll forgive me by the end of the day.
Who are you going to send us in return? Rooney? Can we have Rooney?
Yeah, I'll send Rooney. Yeah, I'll send Rooney. Rooney's a wild man. We'll send him with NDI leash with him. Yeah. So can you give us a hint at vMix 20?
This is the NAB show where we just, you know, showcase vMix 19 and absorb what people are saying, what they want in the future. So we listen, and of course, what we do first is we look at the feature requests in our forums.
Yes.
You know, Tim's got this whiteboard in the office where he's you know, tallying all the feature requests, which are the popular ones.
You slip my bad. Let me interrupt you. So if somebody has a great idea for a feature, they should call you up.
No, they should go to our forums at forums.vmix.com. They should sign up, go to feature requests, and the first thing to do is search, because somebody has probably thought of it before. And when you find that thread, you just reply with a +1 or a yes, this would be great, but wouldn't it be great if this feature also did X, Y, or Z? Now, if the feature you can't find it, can't search for it, submit a new post, and we all are about how many customers are all about vMix, so that feature, how popular they think that feature is.
And how is popularity measured?
It's measured in a couple of factors, how hard it is to build.
Okay.
So if it's a really, really, really popular feature and it's also hard to implement, that's probably going to be a feature that's going to be in their next release.
Okay.
But if it's really hard and only 2 or 3 people currently want it, well then they need to start getting the word out about that feature. So other people can say, yes, we want this feature.
So if you've got a feature that you like and you put it into the forum, and I like it too, I should go into the forum and make a post there with a +1.
Yeah.
And that tells you, the developer, that somebody else likes that too.
That's right.
So if 50 people go in and do a +1. Now, the vMix call is a good example of a feature that people requested quite a while back. And you said, the technology's not ready. I like the idea, but we're not quite ready for that. Isn't that the
And that's
story?
right, yeah. We had a lot of feature requests that are still there in the forums that are very popular, but we're waiting for technology, we're waiting for certain things to fall into place. And vMix Call is a great example of that. It took probably 2 years before the technology was mature enough for it to work with everybody's browsers. But yeah, as I said, Tim's got a whiteboard of features we're currently investigating based on the feature requests. We can't say what they are because we don't know whether we can actually implement them, but he has a list. He has my marching orders when I get back to Australia after this.
I'll tell you how to get your feature implemented. This is the secret. Martin will have to, he doesn't want to know the secret. What I did was, I really wanted vMix Call to be a feature. So I went out and I did 4 videos on my show on how to do a workaround so that you could get a video call into vMix. How to do it with Skype, how to do it with Zoom, how to do it from a second PC, how to do it on a primary PC. And the week after I did my last video, Martin put out the beta on vMix Call. And undid everything that I had done for 4 weeks.
That was a funny coincidence, wasn't it? Because we've been working on it for a long time, and you were testing it with us in a secret beta, super secret beta, and yeah, I guess we both, great minds think alike. You were realizing that people needed help with Skype and Zoom in vMix around the same time as we realized
it was complicated to take Skype and Zoom and get them in.
And so we realized at the same time, I think, and that's when the beta came out, so yeah.
And vMix Call, I will tell you, vMix Call is very much the talk of this convention. People come here, I was talking to somebody this morning, he's a vMix user, and I said, you know about vMix Call? And he said, yes. He said, that is the best feature. He said, I've got to upgrade just for that. I said, you haven't upgraded already? He said, no, I haven't. I said, go home, upgrade first thing. Don't even unpack, upgrade first thing. Because you've got to see it in real life. Okay.
So they're talking about the audio in the chat room. We're like, yeah, this is, my mic was too loud before, so that's why I moved it back.
So tell us who else is on the team here at the vMix booth this
year. So what we have running the booth this year is you, of course, helping us out for the first time this year, which is really great. We have Seth from the Cloud Media Group. He's over there talking to a customer right now. And then from our vMix Australia team, we have myself, Tim, and Kimberly. So she's over there just talking to customers as well. So she doesn't want to come on the live show, so that's all right.
I've been after her for 2 days to get her onto the live show. But what we didn't tell her is that there's a camera pointed right there, right now. No, I'm just
oh, and we've got, this is a vMix Call shot that RJ is recording
RJ
in.
Murdoch is responsible for this shot right here. Thank you, RJ. That's excellent. We tried to get RJ to be able to communicate with us, but we just couldn't hear him. It was probably something I did, no doubt, no doubt. Well, Martin, that's super. What else? What else can you share?
That's it from me, but you've got some important guests that have been waiting in the green room. You want to bring them in?
Well, one more thing. Today, you can go to vmix.com and get a free 60-day trial of vMix 19. The Pro $1,200 version, you can use it free for 2 months. It's not watermarked, but it is crippled, right?
It's fully functional.
Did you disable some of the features?
vMix Pro for 60 days,
so
completely
I could go
free.
use that for 2 months for free, the full version. And I could go out and sell people to come on my video show and things like that for free.
For free, for
2
60
months.
days, yeah.
For 60. What happens at the end of 60 days?
Then you have to buy it.
Ah.
So it just...
But it does revert.
Well, you can change it to the free version.
To a free version.
Which is SD for a couple of cameras, but
right.
no vMix call in that. So if you really want
by
the vMix
that time
call,
you're spoiled.
Yeah, you've got you know what if it does what you need it to do after 2 months.
Mark. That's really sneaky.
Well, thanks for the plug. You know, I'll write the check after the show.
Right. Martin's already written the check. He brought me here. Thank you. I really do thank you a lot. And thanks for taking a second to pop in. Yeah. Good. Good. You want to hang out here?
I'll jump to the side. You can run to the next thing. So.
All right, very good, very good, very good. All right, so I'll just let you know, again, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, or if you're watching us on YouTube, you want to come over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, right there, and that way you get in on the chat. We've got 50 some odd folks in the chat. They're having a good time. They're trying to grab our attention here by saying things. A lot of times the wife will say things and try to grab my attention because she knows that I pay attention to what she broadcasts. We want you to come into the chat so that you can enjoy that full Streaming Idiots experience. I've had a lot of folks here at NAB today that have said, and yesterday and the day before, they said, Tom, we saw your show, and I'm like, oh, golly, I hate to see folks in person because you know how awful the show can be sometimes, but nevertheless, I'm delighted for those of you that are here today to watch live, for those of you that are watching live right here in the NAB with us. Thank you very much, and for those of you watching on demand, we appreciate that too. You know, follow us on Facebook. We've got a great Facebook group for Streaming Idiots. It's facebook.com/groups/Streaming Idiots. There are about 540 folks in the group. It's a great place to, you can post a question and you'll get a lot of help. You can post an idea and you'll get a lot of a lot of critique. Some of it good, some of it, well, we'll just see. But it's also a great place to make friends, people that you have a common interest with streaming. And you know, we're all idiots, we all make mistakes, and so what a great place to start. What a great place to start. Okay, so I think we've got, Tim, do we have Paul at PTZ Optics lined up and maybe ready to come in to the show? We got to find him on there somewhere. And we have Tess. We have Paul and Tess coming. Paul is coming to you live from NAB, and Tess is coming to you live from Pennsylvania. And Paul, who have you got with you? Welcome.
We've got Eric Pratt here, and I thought I'd surprise you with Tess.
Outstanding.
Hello.
Well, we can throw you and Eric away. We just want to talk to Tess.
Well, you know what? I thought you might say that.
I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk to you while you're at NAB, Tom.
Well, Tess, we wish you were out here with us today because it's a great, exciting place to be. We've got folks all over the vMix booth, and as you can tell, and we're just sort of set up for the live broadcast. Now, Paul, tell us what's going on down at PTZ Optics. You guys are having a lot of folks that are popping through the booth today, yesterday, and the day before, and tomorrow. What's going on with PTZ Optics at NAB?
Well, I think the IP control with vMix and also the new Tech TriCaster has been a lot of talk. I just learned that you can create a playlist for the PTZ Optics cameras and automate them at the vMix party from Scott Whitney, and that was really interesting. Tess and I hosted our live show here, and it's all really powered by vMix Call. And it's really interesting because I kind of have control over the return video to you, Tom. So I've got a vMix call with Tess and a vMix call with you.
Awesome, awesome. So Tess, what's going on in
Paul, did you
Pennsylvania?
tell Tom what we did yesterday?
What did you do
Why don't
yesterday?
you go ahead and tell Tom
It's
what we
going
did?
well here in PA, not as quite as well as I'm sure things are going for you in Vegas. But yesterday we added the external input like you taught me so that Paul could put me on his green screen via an additional vMix call. And it worked pretty darn cool for the most part, right, Paul?
Yes, that was. See, did you hear what Tess is saying? She knows all the externals and the vMix calls, and she's really learning a lot about how to use vMix.
I have the two best mentors around.
Well, Tess, the chat room is just burning up right now. They want you to do your own show. They want you to be a guest on my show for the next 100 sessions, I think that's what they said. They are suggesting that Paul be fired and you take over his job. You know, those guys in chat will say just
Paul,
about anything.
I love my Paul.
Okay, Paul.
Well,
I'm having like fangirl moments. It was so cool to see Martin and to see you talking with Martin. And Paul has had his own moments, like earlier with the live streaming pros. I'm just loving this week from NAB.
Oh yeah. Now, Paul, you guys are coming down to StreamCon in June in Atlanta, and PTZ Optics is one of the major sponsors of StreamCon. I am so excited for you to be there.
yeah, you have a very special community, Tom, and you know, vMix has been such a crucial partner for us, and you know, it's really. I think today, one of the things Eric and I were talking about is the amount of companies working together to create complete solutions. So where PTZ Optics can just focus on making the best PTZ camera, vMix focuses on making the best live streaming software possible. And it's the convergence of all these different companies together that are making the things that you thought would never be possible, and then on budgets that you might never think you could you know, create a live streaming studio on. It's just incredible.
So we were discussing earlier that 20 years ago, NAB wasn't quite the same as it is today. Each booth was its own island, and each booth only had its own products on it. Today we're seeing a lot of cross-pollination. I mean, this very show, we're having a Skype, a vMix call between the PTZ Optics booth and the vMix booth. We've also got a number of other products down here just to show the integration between all of the different products. And I think that's really a better way of doing business.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, Eric, like we were talking about earlier, it seems like so many different companies are using one another's products on their own booths, and that's been really fun to see. It's like one big happy partner relationship family.
I've asked Seth to step in with us, guys. Seth is with Cloud Media Group in Spokane, Washington, and is also part of the vMix team this week, as am I. And Seth was on Streaming Idiots a month ago.
Yeah, like a month or two ago.
And Seth has developed an app on an iPad that allows you to control vMix, a really cool control surface. Tell us a little bit about that.
So basically with the open-ended API that vMix has, we created an iPad app that allows you to basically control your vMix session like you would a traditional broadcast switcher. So it has the traditional buttons for your program, your preview, and your overlay. There's also some customizable buttons, so if you have a custom function you want to do within vMix, there's 4 customizable functions. There's a movable T-bar. You can start and stop your streaming, your recording, your full screen, and your external output. So and also in the newest update, we added an audio mixer, so you can monitor your audio levels, mute your channels, and turn up and down all of your audio. So when you want to turn somebody down, you can, or turn them up, give them a little mute. But yeah, so that's available in the App Store. It's $4.99, and if you just search for vMix Virtual Control Surface, you can pick that up. And so it's just a great app for controlling your vMix session. So.
Awesome. And it's been a labor of love putting it together. Thank you.
Oh yes, it's been a fantastic time.
And that's one of the beauties of what's going on with vMix and what Eric and Paul and Tess said about this community of manufacturers and developers and geniuses that are are working together. They're not competing and trying to knock each other down. They're not trying to be critical and break down. They're trying to build up. And by making the tide rise for everybody, oh good, thank you. By making the tide rise from everybody, oh Martin, would you bring me those glasses, the ones under the couch? By making the tide rise for everybody, everybody's boat floats up. It's like, okay, here's the pie analogy. You know, we all want a bigger slice of the pie. But what if you just make the pie bigger?
I'm liking this analogy. I like
pie.
Well,
I like
more
pie too.
Come on, more pie for everybody.
We make the pie bigger, and so there's more pie to be had. It's not about trying to take somebody else's piece of pie. It's for me to work with that person to make the pie bigger. And live streaming, thank you, sir. And live streaming is going to be, you think it's already big? Just wait. Just wait. We are on the very beginnings. Now, is Paul still on the call, Tim? Not sure. Paul shows a bell graph, a bell curve of the early adopters, and then as the acceptance peaks out and comes down. Yeah, Paul, are you there?
There's over there.
Paul can't hear us. Paul can't hear us. Okay. Tess, are you there? We don't want to talk to Paul anyway. No, they're gone. Okay. Anyway, Paul talks the bell curve, and you know he thinks that we are well up this ramp of the curve, and I think we are still down at the bottom. We are just past the early adopters, and we're just beginning to get kind of that corporate mindset acceptance. I've had so many people come to me this week and talk about integrating live streaming into whatever their industry was. And the tools are now easier to use and more available than they ever have been. So now is the time to jump in, and I'm a reseller. I'm here on the vMix team this week, but I don't work for Martin. I can fire Martin anytime I want to. He can fire me anytime I want to. I've worked with other developers of other similar products in the past. I've resold them. And I've chosen vMix because I want to be the best. I want my clients to be the best. And I can walk away anytime I want. I'm not married to these guys, but I am staying with vMix because as we talk about live streaming in the future, this is the company that we want to be attached to, not just for the moment, but for the long term. And the fact that we're at vMix 19 with these fabulous features that would cost you $15,000 to have in something else, maybe a hardware product or something like that. I don't even know that it's available in software anywhere. And you're getting it for vMix HD 1 call for $350, vMix 4K for 2 calls? 2 calls for $700, vMix Pro with 8 callers. Think what you could do with 8 callers coming into a show. I was talking to somebody this morning that wants to do a panel broadcast to a very narrow niche audience, but he's going to have thousands of potential viewers across the world. He's going to bring 4 callers in, and vMix Call is going to be absolutely perfect because it's going to bring the callers in at HD, full HD resolution, and then allow him to rebroadcast it to his clientele, to his viewers, and he can do that for the price of vMix Pro at $1,200 in a PC, where you would have taken $50,000 or more to do that 2 years ago. Amazing.
Well, just think about just the gaming industry. You have a lot of people doing Twitch, and everyone who's doing gaming has got some sort of a laptop or webcam that they have, and you can literally with vMix Call say, oh, all right, tweet out something with this hashtag, and we're going to pick somebody, and we're going to bring you in right live on the show while I'm playing this game, and bring you right in. You might have 5,000 people watching you, and any one of them could jump in on your show at any time with their laptop and their webcam just by going to a website. They don't install any software. They don't do anything other than typing in their name and a number, and boom, they're right in the live production right there.
All right, time to change gears. One of the things that you come to vMix, that you come to NAB for, is to see new products. And there was a product, well, it wasn't a product, it was a ghost of a product.
It was a rumor. There
was a rumor of a ghost of a product last year, of a device that would plug onto a camera and would magically make that camera NDI compatible. there was a certain camera brand that said that they had an NDI compatible camera, but they didn't. I was able to make my Jack Russell Terrier NDI compatible the same way they made their camera compatible. It wasn't the same thing. But there is a device that was announced last year, and I have in my hot little hand, here it is, from the Bird Dog Studio NDI. Can I get the box open? And it is a device that attaches to your camera from Bird Dog TV, and it has SDI out, HDMI out, and Ethernet in. Or excuse me, I guess that's the other way around. Yeah, Tim says the other way around, Tom. That one wouldn't work. So I can attach this to my camera, and suddenly my camera is now NDI compatible at the camera, which means I'm running, what do you call that cable?
Ethernet.
Thank you, Ethernet cable from this device, from my camera, back to a...
Just any router on your network.
Not a high dollar capture card?
Nope.
So I can make my $5,000, $3,000, $2,000 camera NDI compatible with Bird Dog TV. Yep.
Yeah, and let me give you a practical application for this. We were recently at a convention for our school, and we had some cameras plugged in a large auditorium, and we ended up having to run a really long network cable to be able to connect this camera up there, and we didn't have the switch to be able to go through. And had we had that switch and to be able to plug this in, we would have been able to put our camera anywhere in the auditorium, plug it into this guy, and then just beam it right into our vMix session without having any sort of HDMI cable running halfway across the school for it. And so it just enables you to bring in a camera anywhere on your network that you can plug into a router somewhere.
Amazing, amazing. And this is almost shipping. That's the word.
There's a box.
And I understand that with a firmware upgrade today, perhaps we might even test this one and put it into action. Okay. Now we did have Tim put out a challenge on the last vMix Fun Time live show that if anyone would wear a banana costume to NAB, that he would recognize them. And so one of our own streaming idiots, Dave Edwards, brought a banana costume. Come here. Come around over here. Come on around over here. There we go. And not only did Dave, come on Dave, not only did Dave wear a banana costume here today, but he also wore a vMix shirt that's got Tom Sinclair Streaming Idiots on the other side, and let's show on the back. World of live streaming, it's all Tom's fault. I mean,
that is true, I can confirm
Dave, that is worth something, my friend.
Is it?
That is. My friends at VideoLink Canada have developed a video pair of sunglasses.
Oh yeah?
That will record live video. Oh. It's $100 value, and I want to give it to you in thanks for number one, wearing the banana costume, but number two, being such a great supporter of vMix and Streaming Idiots and World of Live Streaming.
Well, it's my pleasure, Tom.
Hold on. We got you on.
It's my pleasure completely. I mean, I got into a forced retirement scenario about almost a year ago now.
Yeah.
And I got somehow found Merle Dixon online and Giles Warham in an
Merle,
interview.
we're calling you out right here.
That's right, we're calling you out. And I've been engaged on your stuff a while, just watching from behind the scenes, but when I connected with those guys, it's really given me awesome sense of community. It's meant the world to me, it really has.
Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here.
Glad to help in any way I can.
All right, well, you can help by leaving. Go on, get out of here. All right, and Dave has been around since the early days of Streaming Idiots and has been a great supporter, and we're so delighted to have him here with us this week and to honor him in that way. And if you would like to know, what's that?
Oh, I was going to say we have a question on the chat room that where does the association, and I've always kind of wondered this too, where does the association come with the banana costume? Do you know?
Well, the banana is sort of the unofficial, heck, it may even be the official mascot of vMix, and things come flying in here. And it's featured on your vMix mouse pad. And if somebody would like a vMix mouse pad, they can send an email to iwantamousepad@vmix.com, and wherever you are in the world, anywhere in the world, we will send you a mouse pad from any of our remote offices, our remote mouse pad distribution centers throughout the world. I know there's at least one in the United States. You can get a free vMix mouse pad as if you were here at NAB. No, but the banana is has been a part of the show, and my understanding is that in Australian culture, a banana, that when people go to visit their friends, they always take bananas with them as
customary cultural banana giving.
It's a housewarming gift, and it brings good luck and long life to those that eat them. Now you have to be careful with the peels, because we know what happens with banana peels. But that's the history, and we've made it up right here today. Right here today. If you've heard it on the internet, it must be true, right? Must be true. Okay, we're gonna wrap this thing up because we are about running out of time.
I also had one more quick question. Someone had asked how to get the vMix app to work. So what you need to do is in your IP settings, you just type in the IP address of your vMix machine. Just the IP, don't add the :8080, don't add that, just the IP address. And you also need to make sure if you're running a Windows 7 machine that your network privacy setting is set on home and not public or work, because that will cause it to block the protocol that's controlling the app. So just type in the IP address, hit enter to close that keyboard down, and it should connect for you. But if you have any issues, you can go ahead and contact us through that app contact page. So,
thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, so I got the word from RJ that he might be able to come into our broadcast. Tim, can you give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down on that? RJ, can you hear me?
I can hear you, absolutely.
Awesome. RJ Murdoch from Emerald Coast TV in the beautiful, lovely Fort Walton Beach, Florida. You remember RJ was on the show several months ago, and RJ is coming to you live from the floor.
Walking around the floor here. There's lots of things to see around here, Fort Tom. Unbelievable. Too much stuff, actually.
But tell us about something you've seen, and see if you can zoom in on somebody and let us know what you got.
Well, unfortunately, everything is so spread out. It's like Easter egg hunting, because you're finding these little Easter eggs in a mess of high-tech gear, video screens, green screens, everything on behind me, and a crowd of people. This event, which goes from the expo part, the floor, is open from Monday till Thursday afternoon, and believe me or not, it's not enough time to be able to stop and see almost everything that you may be interested in. I mean, it's that big. I spent this South Hall itself, where the vMix booth is at, has 2 floors. I got in at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. Around 2 o'clock, I just got finished with the upper floor, and I haven't even been downstairs to see the vMix guys and everybody else. It's just huge. It's amazingly huge.
So RJ, are you trying to tell me this is a big show?
Bring your walking shoes, hydrate well, drink some chaps. It is dry here in Arizona. And also, drink lots of water, and some ibuprofen helps quite a lot.
Hey, RJ, tell me, how in the world are you sending this video to us and your audio? Tell me what your setup is.
Well, right now I'm on my smartphone. I'm using my rear camera, so I can't see you or me at the moment. But it's the better camera. I wanted to give you guys a better image quality. And so we're on a 4G LTE Verizon network on a Galaxy Note 4. And finally got a chance to borrow from the PT Optic guys when I was over there by their booth a headset with a mic, because Tom surprised me last night saying, hey, I want you to be a guest. So now I can actually finally talk with you guys. But still, this is all being done on a cell phone. It may not be the highest quality. It may not be the smoothest motion. And I'm not sure how the audio is, because it's noisy in here. But I'm real, on location, So from a correspondence perspective, you're covering an event, a parade, you want to get a fan response from a football touchdown or something like that. This is definitely doable. Just coming in through a vMix call and just calling vmix.com. And I mean, it's a great initial stop. I mean, there's some things that'd be great to be able to switch cameras back and forth. It's going to get there. This is the first version of vMix call, and it's still very powerful. I think so.
All right, so you've got a phone which you already owned. You borrowed a $1.99 headset from the folks at PTZ Optics. And
PTZ Optics, yeah.
You've got $0 invested in your end of it, and you're calling in on vMix call. Now, Tim, can you tell me the statistics on RJ's call? What kind of resolution of video is he sending us? Terrible, he says, but but what's the resolution? 180. All right, that's 180. So we now know what 180 looks like compared to 1060. And you know, I can tell what's going on there.
I'm moving a lot, which is probably really bad.
Well, it probably is bad.
Because, you know, most good for web, so I should just like fix in one place and just have you look behind me. It might be, if I stop moving, it might look a lot cleaner looking. But still, again, for correspondence-wise, and I was hooked up to a nice Wi-Fi, we might be able to NDI it a little bit better than 180.
Yes. But what a cool, quick and dirty way of putting together a broadcast. I mean, you know, it took you 5 minutes to figure that out. It took me hours and hours. Seth would have done it in 5 minutes too. But RJ, thanks so much for being the part of the broadcast today. I'm going to cut you loose before you kill all your phone battery. And
for corresponding, it's a free upgrade. Is that correct? Did we get that point correct?
Yeah, we're going to upgrade your headset from the $1.50 version to the $2.99 version.
The $2.99 version.
That's right.
All righty.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll let you go wrap up the show. If you get a chance next year, everybody who's called or watching right now live or later on, come over to NAB. I think the vMix meetup like we had last night will be even bigger. And don't forget StreamCon over in Atlanta in June here. That's going to be an awesome event.
All right, RJ, great. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in. Folks, I think we're just about done for today, unless we can, I was going to say unless we can convince Kimberly to come in, but she's still tied up on a demo over there. If you're watching us tonight and you're at NAB, come on by the vMix booth. Tomorrow, we're in the lower southern hall. On the upper tier, over to the right side. If you find New Tech, we're right next to New Tech. New Tech sends people over here to get all good ideas all the time, so that's okay.
They have spy scouts.
That's right,
They're dressed in vMix shirts.
They're loving it.
Right next to the Adobe booth, giant, humongous Adobe booth right next to it.
On behalf of Seth and Kimberly and Tim and Martin, I'm Tom Sinclair. This has been Streaming Idiots, coming to you live from NAB. And we are so delighted that you might tune in with us today. For all the folks in the chat room, Kimberly, they're shouting your name in the chat room. We won't be, well, I don't know what we're going to be able to do with the Bird Dog TV thing today, but if we do something with it, we'll just be sure and post it. Seth is going to take it home with it. We'll be sure and post it on Facebook.
I don't know where it went.
Make sure you tune in again next week on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern when we have our NAB wrap-up show. And after that, we're going to get RJ back on the show. We've got Scott Whitney from Podworks here in Las Vegas going to be on the show. They're going to be talking about the business side of live streaming. So you will want to see those. And let me tell you, you want to see those live if you can, because then you can get in the chat room and ask questions. That's the beauty of that. So on behalf of the whole gang here, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you again next week on Streaming Idiots. And we are out.
All righty.